Seth Rogen. I thought that Seth Rogen was fine. I mean, Seth Rogen wasn't really in the movie too much, to be honest with you. But when he was in there, I thought he was sufficient. You know, I didn't think he was exceptional. I don't know if this is the best performance of his career. I mean, it's the best performance I've ever seen from Seth Rogen, but I thought that Seth Rogen was fine. I mean, the fact that he was like verbally playing tag with Michael Fassbender is kind of trippy. Kate Winslet, I wish she was my wife. That's unfortunate, but I thought she was great. You know, I loved what she did with the voice, and she was convincing. I mean, everyone across the boards, the performances are great. But the two standout people are Jeff Daniels and Michael Fassbender. Jeff Daniels and Michael Fassbender have this extraordinary dialogue sequence towards the middle of this film. I think sometime in 1988, I believe. It's kind of like Steve Jobs. He's like about to walk past this hallway, but Jeff Daniels is just like sitting in the middle of this hallway, and like just from the cinematography and from the way that Jeff Daniels is sitting there and Michael Fassbender approaches him, it feels like a scene out of The Godfather. Like, it's just framed and cinematography wise perfected. They both have this huge speechifying feud of words between the two. I mean, the two of them just going back and forth about, like, did Jeff Daniels fire Steve Jobs, or did Steve Jobs really just fire himself? The dialogue, it was like a literal attack of fucking words. Like, it was extraordinary. Fucking Jeff Daniels was like doing shit like this, and fucking Steve Jobs was just like talking like this and shit. Like, they were just like literally screaming at each other, and it was fantastic. Steve Jobs and Seth Rogen, the last conversation that they have here. This conversation is not only the most powerful moment and my favorite moment of the film, but it is worth the price of admission alone. It is mind-blowing, okay? I mean, it's eerie, especially considering that, like, you know, these were real people. Like, it's eerie, and there's so much depth to what they're implying towards each other. I mean, I almost started sweating. My jaw was on the floor. I mean, with the exception of this moment here from The Social Network, because when I first saw that, I thought my ears started bleeding. I was like, oh my god, that scene was so amazing. But no, seriously, this argument was just, it gave me goosebumps. I mean, I was just like, yo, that shit was fucking scathing and so brilliantly realized, and just... So I love how in 1984 the film is shot with a 16mm camera, and then in 1988 the film is shot with a 35mm camera, and then in 1998 the film is shot digital. I thought that worked beautifully, and I really loved the aged quality of 1984's cinematography. Just a beautiful looking film. I was just really, really fucking impressed. I mean, this film blew my fucking mind. There is just dialogue that will give you a fucking head rush. The performances, the cinematography is great. My issue with the film is that its intellectual reach somewhat exceeds its grasp for a masterpiece. The execution of the plot isn't as dense and detailed and mind-blowing and vibrant as the cinematography and the dialogue. I personally feel that had Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, David Fincher, Aaron Sorkin, and Christian Bale, I honestly think that had they gotten together and made a Steve Jobs movie, I feel bad for saying this because I like Danny Boyle, but I still feel that movie would have been better than the one that we got. I think that would have been a 10 out of 10. I don't know. I'm just not really... I think he missed the mark with the ending. I felt like he tried too hard to end everything on such a positive note and try to wrap things in this neat, perfect little bow. And that didn't really work for me. But this movie is still really fantastic. I'm going to give Steve Jobs a 9 out of 10. I think it's just extraordinary. It's really unfortunate that it flopped at the box office, but, you know, I don't know. What are your thoughts?